So two big tools to, you know, choose where you want to take a fight.
So EG has that potential.
Yeah.
Let's actually talk about what 5 men can do in the chaos. Like, how do they actually thrive off of those scenarios and try to turn this into a victory for them?
Well, they can. The TB is. I mean, it's going to be a really strong hero. They can be very active with their Clockwork and Earth Spirit. It's important, but it's. I'm just a little worried that they're not going to be able to play around the vision control, like Lacoste was saying, like Venomancer, Wyvern, Naga Illusion, spreading out, always scouting things out. I think it's going to be tough for them to actually look for those opportunities, but they do. They have to play very active to look for them to try to find that Naga.
Well, it's time to actually find out what is going to happen. We're going to throw it down to the casters and get this one underway. We got Kyle and we got OD. Let's see what actually does happen in this series. EG versus 5 men.
Thank you very much, Rich. I mean, yeah, Carl, this should be a pretty spectacular one. We've got some great heroes coming out. We have these two big old carries, the Naga Siren versus the Terrorblade. And these rosters, very exciting to watch. You have this newest squad coming up, and EG, the sort of this last minute standing, of course, a GPK in the mid lane. How's it going to play out? Is this a game where 5 men have much of a chance? You see EG as being a pretty hard team for 5 men to take down, or have they got a shot?
Oh, for sure. EG come into this with a lot to prove. They've obviously got GPK standing in as well. Really excited to see him as pretty much just like a one-to-one almost replacement for Abed. You consider, you know, young pub star from a non-American region. They just pop him into the roster. And 5 men, of course. You got Misery, a little bit of bad blood there. Did get kicked from EG.
Always true.
They booted him off the squad. Said, you're not good enough as a captain. We want Bulba. And I know for a fact that Sam Sassal will be gunning to win this one.
All right, well, let's see if we can feel that fire as the game gets kicked off at game 1. Of course, the best of 3 between EG and 5 men. So looking at some of the heroes that were picked up, Kyle, anything that sort of stands out as, oh, this is going to be a very difficult game for this player?
Not especially. RTZ got a hero within his puddle or his pool, so he's going to be just fine with the Naga. This is like a throwback to TI5 almost. You've got really not even TI5, just like these players' careers, right? Fly on Wyvern,
I love it.
Crit on his Tiny, not Sumel, but GPK Storm just as good. And RTZ Naga. This is pretty much what you'd hope for as an EG fan. It's, I think, the 5 men lineup that's got to find something special. The 3 cores, like, this whole draft's a bit weird. Let's be real. Clock, Earth Spirit is your support duo.
Yeah, both as the support. How do you sort of feel about that? Is that something that we're maybe going to see more of? Is this something that teams are going to start experimenting with, having these 2 sort of playmaking supports?
It's very much a Misery thing. If you remember, again, going back to his time on EG, he used to always love to play Bounty Hunter himself, and then Crit would be on something more aggressive, like even say an Earth Spirit or a Tusk. And he loves to pioneer this dual strong support meta. Pilot Eye playing a lot of Undying, now on Clockwork, same
Top
thing.
lane. Misery looks to be in a spot of bother. There is Crit, sending him down with the trees. Misery does survive a little longer with the south, but Crit will still find him. First blood for EG. Ace there trying to put the meta to ward them off and keep his Earth Spirit safe, but wasn't to be the case there. EG able to finish off that kill.
That Poison Sting just keeping him so slow. Tiny able to keep up with him, no problem. And I will say, Pi loves to have these really strong laners, but Clock is relatively ineffective.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do against this lane. It feels like it's a pretty safe space for RTZ, right? He's down on the Naga Siren, he's got high armor against the harassment from Zibe with the Empower, the Cleave and such. And Pi, the Battery Assault, who cares? RTZ's gonna have his illusions out.
Yeah, later on in the game, it can be effective. If you get a hook onto an isolated Naga pre-Manta, you will prevent the illusion and the split thanks to the battery, but pretty easy to just tank it. And as you said,
straight away. As soon as the Battery Assault is attempted, Pi, he's got to run, he's got to live very low, 10 HP, he'll get away. The illusions, can they quite find him? They cannot. Pi will live, but you start to really see the struggles of what a support Clock can do in that bottom lane. Top lane, EG, they're going to get Misery for a second time. Tried to get in and go aggressive onto Ramses. Ramses holds his ground, and the 2 of them are able to turn it around.
Yeah, GPK also doing great in the mid lane, already ahead of Chessie. That's the one lane that can get really out of hand for EG, but if you win the first couple of waves of the Storm, you're going to be just fine. And yeah, both carries laning aggressive, but you got to see this going better for EG as it continues. Venomancer only gets better and better with levels. Eventually, TB is going to be forced out, whereas RTZ, I mean, even if you were to gank down bottom, like how do you kill him?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the sort of solution is for the RTZ Naga in the earlier stages. I mean, Chessie, obviously the big force that's going to be moving around once he hits the 6 is going to have that burst available, but maybe at that point, no, RTZ's elsewhere. He's in the jungle. He's a little harder to find. So we'll see what Five Men can do to keep tabs on that. And of course, as long as they can keep the game going in a way that the Terrorblade gets farm mid lane, GPK want to make the spark, pull the Shroud, TP gets away!
Oh,
that was
Rocket,
smart.
so close. If he lands that, that's a kill.
Yeah, I mean, GPK knew I'm going to aggressively hold my ground on Five Men's half of the map. The snipe's going to miss from the rocket. I'm out with the TP. He did the maths. He knew he was safe, and he made it away.
That's the experience of Pylai Dai. Decade-long career. To know that that might be needed, but unfortunately, that youthful precision is lacking.
So
GPK survives.
Bit of a go onto Ramses. They've got to be careful each time they do this. Anytime you try and make an aggressive move onto the Venomancer, he's just going to turn and spew his poison right back at you.
You cannot escape the toxicity no matter what you do.
Absolutely not.
It's quite unfortunate, and this is why we see the hero banned in the first 4 quite often. EG very confident just to pick it up. This Veno is really, really dumb to play against.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah,
you just get near this, and as you see there, you think, oh, I'm going to get him. If you don't get him, he's going to turn and slow you for a million miles round.
Poison's thing's just not balanced. Look at his, he has Quelling Blade, Windlace, Boots, no stat items. He's hitting for less than 50 damage, but you have Poison Sting. And that's enough to just click somebody to death, especially if they don't have enough damage. And now the Arcane Rune being camped, it's likely going to go to GPK. Nope, they'll force it off.
Yeah,
pop back.
Well, they do manage to get him right into the reaches of GPK. GPK turns with the Vortex, drags back Pi. A few hits here with the Overload will do it. Pi's down, 4 kills now for EG. Top lane, aggressive move on to Ramses. This time Ramses is alone, so Misery and Ace will be able to find him with that meta. So finally, 5 men able to get themselves a kill on the board. Mid lane, wrap over towards Jesse, pull back from the Vortex into the Avalanche. They have the toss forward. He's going to chase forward, but he'll get it.
All part of the plan.
Oh my goodness, EG, they're playing fast and furious so far. Crit. He already did it up top. Top comes over towards the mid. He's making the magic happen now for GPK.
Yeah. Look at that, the bottle pass as well. Please get the runes. I want to stick mid and farm. We're going to have a fight for this one.
They're going to step forward. Who's going to be able to grab it? Zibe will be able to get it in the bottle. Arteezy and Fly trying to turn back towards it, but now Pi, he's running down Fly. Fly is going to be able to step back into the air. He goes, turns around with the slow on to 2 of them. Stop them from diving any further.
Still the damage.
So that Pi, he's still kind of looking here for Fly on the backlines, getting behind the tower. Another rocket flare out. Zibe's coming in through the trees. Shockwave being lined up. They'll find the Wyvern.
Oh, they're getting a Pi.
They're going to find Arteezy too, maybe, but he's got the illusions. He's going to try and duke it out. Pi not quite in range of the battery assaults as Arteezy continues to run away. Rocket flare is going to be up in 5 seconds. Won't be enough damage though, as Arteezy knows he's able to head back. But they get the kill on Fly, so we're now starting to see 5 man really kick back at EG.
It would have been huge if they got the Naga kill as well, but now, because they don't finish him, he'll be able to just sit in lane, and Fly will bring him regen. They get Ramses up top once again. That's just the threat of the Earth Spirit. It's one of the best supports to hunt this Venom, because you can actually ignore the wards, you don't care about the move speed, you just have to land the boulder.
Yeah, and this is, sort of the read from 5 men, knowing that Crit, he's out making the movements, Ramses is alone. This is the part of the map that they can successfully get away with this pressure. Is continuing to get this Terrorblade, of course, an incredible amount of free farm. 34 and 13 on the Terrorblade right now, mid lane. GPK looking towards Chessie as he gets an aggressive with Pylai Dive, and now Pylai Dive a little too deep. Fly comes in with the slow from the side, and this will be another death in the mid lane here. GPK just getting involved in this early action that continues to get handed to him by 5 men.
Yeah, doing really well so far. And I gotta just say, I'm so happy Tiny's back in the meta. If you're an EG fan, you've got to feel confident knowing that this can just be first tooth for Crit at Infinite. Like, this is just his hero to play already with a very high impact. GPK off to a nice start as well in his EG debut. Don't think it'll be permanent, of course, but it'll be curious to see how he performs.
Now, already, of course, in the past, we've seen big organizations trying to get a hold of this guy to play for them, and if anything, this run here, it's been the first game. We'll see how it plays out. Could be another bit of a highlight reel for the boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool because you never really talk about it, but these quote-unquote like tier 1 players on tier 2 teams, right? You always wonder how would they stack up against the best in the world on a top tier team. We get an opportunity to see that with GPK with no real stress either. It's not a tryout. You're just standing in to play some quality to too. And so far, so good. Relatively even though EG's a bit ahead on the kills. Terrorblade now able to control top. The one benefit is once you get levels against this Veno, the illusions just straight up kill the wards.
Yes,
so it's a little,
farm them. Yeah.
I'm curious as to why he went for this ward build on Ramses instead of putting any points into Gale. Because typically if you go for more points, if you just go QW, you just spam Gale on the TB, eventually force them out. But these wards aren't as effective as you would like under the circumstances.
They're going to come hunting for him here, Misery. Trying to find some sort of way of getting in onto Ramses, but proving difficult to do so. Now Crit's found the opportunity to get on top of Ace himself, goes in, GPK joins the move, and they'll take out Ace there. Ace just not having the backup required. Misery not quite close enough and couldn't do anything to help.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of this build on Chessie either. 3 points into his Q, going for lane domination, and okay, he'll dominate Fly, it looks like.
There's going to be a bit of backup though as Ramsey steps in. Pie like that is going to dive in past the tier 1 to look to finish off Fly. Will get the kill, but now TP's coming in. Pie goes straight up with the TP, but Crit, he's in just in time with the Avalanche, cancels the TP, and Pie will die for that dive. Holy moly!
Crit's so good. Hit him with the holy moly. I've been really disappointed thus far by the total lack of all chatting. Guys, we don't have a TI. We've still got compendiums. If you're not going to use the voice lines, you know, what did we pay for?
Exactly. You know, I'm sure as the tournament continues, teams are going to get a bit more confident with getting those chat words spamming, because you know it's a big tournament sort of out of nowhere. We've had sort of smaller regional things. Now it's, you know, this is the big show. This is the time for no more messing around. Teams, you know, they want to win. There's a lot of money on the line.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Neutral items going to start to drop up. Nothing crazy so far, of course, just tier 1s. GPK top of the net worth, and Ramses, this is what I like to see. Venomancer, go towards mid. You got catapults coming in 2 waves, but just control this area of the map. This is what you want to do, because ultimately, if they leave this lane alone as 5 men, they're going to leave the tower as well.
And they want to do something about Ramses, trying to build up his little base here with the ward straight in. Misery's able to pull him out of the river.
But it does demonstrate the gravity the hero possesses. Venom shows up in the lane, you're either going to have to let your tower succumb to the pressure or just kill the man. And Earth Spirit's excellent at doing just that. But still, tons of space. All of the lanes being farmed by EG plus GPK in the jungle.
Now still equivalent farm though for 5 men. You know, this is a game where Ace's Terrorblade is having just as good of a time as anyone else here right now.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, how do you sort of rate the Terrorblade into the Naga Siren down the line? Is there sort of a team here that can sit back a little more comfortably on their carry this game?
It's tough because it all comes down to the mag factor. Because you effectively turn the TP is already arguably the best hyper carry in Dota in terms of raw item or gold into damage. But when you have an Empower as well, you can hit this BKB 3rd item timing and just straight up shred buildings. I think EG's team fight is better, but they don't have that same raw DPS.
They're going to be able to find this ward here on the cliff, giving them straight up vision. Oh, he's going to be able to get the Sunder off, but still heavy amounts of magical good damage coming out of Pie. He's in with the save, or at least tries to. GPK's got a last little bit of mana. He's in, he finds Ace, but the Sonic Wave comes out for Chessie. GPK in return, 1 for 1. Crit with a final toss-up and the poison from Ramses. They'll kill a second as EG, they got what they came for. Does cost them GPK's life, but I think they're fine with this. They keep the pressure up. They take Ace out of the game for another 20 seconds.
Uncharacteristic mistake from Crit there. He missed the toss. He got a creep instead of the Terrorblade. Thus, the Thunder was able to go off. But they still find that kill, but they lose GPK because of it. Top 3 net worth, all on the side of 5 men. Would have been unexpected.
Crit hunting in the trees. Zibe has already used the skewer to try and break away, but the toss back's there right into the hands of RTZ. He's going for this RP-TP play, and it's not going to quite work there. As Pie tried to step forward, push them back with the cogs, but RTZ was already able to get that final right click in to kill off Zibe. They'll also get Pie as GPK comes storming in behind the tower.
He's going for the raw Orchid as well. No upgraded boots, no Kaya, no nothing. Just going for that straight kill threat onto the enemy Quap and Mag. It's a pretty nice item under the circumstances. Since you have the Tiny and plenty of just, I guess I'll call it harass damage. Wyvern, Veno, not really any hard lockdown, but just a little bit of poke. All of a sudden there's an Orchid there from the Storm. That hero's dead no matter who it is. And all 3 enemy cores would have escapes otherwise. So I think that decision, typically I hate because I think treads are broken, but in the circumstances, I like it. Fly, no mana for the ultimate, but he does have it. They will look to take this tower uncontested, it appears, as Ramses once again controls the mid lane.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Starting to slowly build that advantage now. EG 1k ahead as RTZ claiming that area down bottom. That tower is going to keep him in a great position. Nothing too surprising about his build, of course. Standard stuff here from the Naga Siren, just slipping in a windlace nowadays, as a lot of cores do tend to do so. That extra boost of movement can make the absolute difference when it comes to chasing down.
Is under attack.
I'd love to see it. This time, EG, they're not going to let Ramses exist on this island alone. They're going to make a move around behind him, secure this objective. Very key tower to take down.
Dire's top tower.
It was 5 men. I mean,
they can't fight into Wyvern ulti though, can they?
hard, yeah, but knowing that Fly's somewhere hidden in the shadows, GPK is going to start things off. A little bit of a poke onto Zippe, will force out another TP reaction as Chessie now joining forces in the mid lane. 4 heroes here from 5 men ready to try and hold up this ground, and it's almost as if that's exactly what EG was trying to play for. They have a poke, they immediately back off. They're not sticking around here anymore.
Yep, you force the rotates and then get the hell out of there. Earth Spirit, just a much easier time of turning things around than Crit will have just straight up diving to find a kill. And note, the Mag went for this mech build. He's going to be more of this supporting core role. You saw Seb do this at TI's past as well.
Yeah.
They're going to turn this TB into a hypercarry. He will hit so hard that EG, I think, you've got to keep your pedal to the metal. You want to get these objectives because you don't want to get into a point where it's just a farm war, empowered TB versus an Arteezy Naga. It's just not going to go your way. And he went for the drums build as well on Ace. So one of the more stat efficient items, I think, from talking to T-Gov and Fog, they say everyone can buy drums. It's never bad, but I haven't seen it as often on TBs in comparison to like rushing the Asha. But in this case, sure, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll see if it necessarily allows them to maybe do something a bit more aggressive now, because with that extra power of the drum charges, you just suddenly, if you win a fight and you're on EG's half of the map, you are going to be able to push down a tier 2 tower.
It's just so much attack speed. It effectively just spawns a Beastmaster with max aura for the duration. And when you're a TB with an illusion army, that is pretty damn strong, especially when you add in the added damage from the Empower. Zippe just camping on this, and the mech is nice in this regard too, because he can actually sit on this tower and contest the pressure, whereas if he was trying to play with like a Blink or a Shadow Blade or something, it'd be a totally different game style.
Let's see if they can find here, coming into EG's jungle. 5 men, GPK would be a dream catch, but Crit, he instantly jumps forward, gets the 3 of them in the Avalanche Victory, tries to turn with the silence, but GPK goes across, looks towards the kill, but Paladin is able to push him away with the cogs. The Sonic Wave comes out, they've taken out Crit. GPK still having a bit of a poke around. He's starting to fall on the man. It goes over towards Pi. Ramses and GPK all taking damage from the Magnetize, but not enough to threaten them, as they'll be kept safe. Just the 1-for-1 there as both supports end up trading. Farm for the carries at the moment continues to both of them, Arteezy and Ace, going at a pretty much identical. The growth is 6,900, 6,800. Very, very close right now between the Naga Siren and the Terrorblade.
You can see the line, the circle rather, just drawn by Crit. That's where Arteezy is going to be continuing to play. And it's part of why he's been able to keep pace with Ace, even though he doesn't have that Empower buff, because he's got this entire bottom half of the map for effectively the entire game. So it's 3 or 4 camps plus lane. It's ideal for Naga under the circumstances. And there's the Orchid complete, so time to make a move. You still have Wyvern ulti, you'd love to make a play here. I think Crit has the Blink as well, so bait Ramses, find a fight.
Let's see what sort of a catch they can find at the moment. Misery showing him mid. Crit's going to go for it. Jumps in. Whoa. With the toss back. Misery. They'll go down. It'll be an easy one. He'll try and roll away, but the damage over time will pursue. That's Gambit. I was going to say Gambit there. EG.
You just have this vision advantage now for EG, because you have the harder turnaround. The Wyvern ulti is just straight up trump card. You're going to stop 5 men's moves in their tracks. You have better catch because you have this tiny blink, and it's effectively just the supports from 5 men that can make plays.
Chessie blinks in on it. Whoa. That's going to be an easy opportunity for Crit. He goes for it straight up. Chessie there, sort of tunnel visioning on the rune, not expecting EG to be waiting there for him. And now Pi, he's got a little bit too close to the sun as well, trying to fight in. He's using a hookshot to keep himself safe. It's going to work. The curse here, holding back Ace on the high ground. Pi still goes down, but Zippe, he's able to skewer in, get the opportunity for the RP onto GPK. But on the backlines, Crits in once more. Will be able to finish off Ace. Zippe goes for the TP out, will make it away. Still everything going EG's way there as GPK, sure, he goes down, but already starting that fight off with being able to take out Chessie and turning into that Pi kill. And Fly, excellent control, no hesitation, slamming the curse down on Ace. We'll deal with you later, and they certainly did.
Yeah, and check out the net worth. Even though Storm is 500 gold behind the Quap, GPK has an Orchid. He's had it for a little bit. Chessie's still away, a recipe away, and it's because he just bought so much more buildup. Quap's dangerous in the sense that you want to make sure you're scaling effectively. When you go for the double,
Chessie's game is going to get continually bullied here by EG. Sonic Wave as well, thrown out. Maybe in a bit of a frustration there. As of a Sonic Wave and a Sonic Baby Rage. It's that struggles there for 5 men starting to show.
This is where they start to get, it's the team fight. You've got the Naga song still. You saw the Wyvern ulti's effectiveness in the previous fight. You just have more tools as EG to prolong these engagements. And if you look at the 5-man lineup, you've got all these cooldowns to worry about. And ultimately, your only catch is going to be Zibe with a skewer forwards RP and then the clock hook, the rolling from the Earth Spirit as well. But you end up just finding yourself in the center of all this magic damage. There's a ward army already. GPK isn't really going to get locked down by Pylai. Nobody really cares about his hero at this point. And you're going to have some major damage issues.
He's going to try and have a poke onto Ace. I mean, this time round, Ace. No, he's not going to die to the burst of crit alone. Crit, you know, he's just having a bit of fun with the poking around. It'll almost certainly cost him his life as he's going to try and run away. Another taunt. He's like, nearly. And now it has put Ace into a bit of a precarious position, but I say that Pie's there, offering up the target. It's now GPK in this trap, but he is able to get himself out of the cogs. Curse as well, just controlling this cliff area, making it hard for the rest of 5 men to get in. They turn over towards the clock. Chessie has a DD, throws out the dagger onto Fly. EG with the 4 of them, poking back at Chessie, blinks back up. Gets himself away. Misery will end up ticking out to the damage of Ramses. So forward for GPK, still got mana to chase down Chessie. Blink still on caught out for a couple of seconds. He's caught by the ensnare. Oh, there's RP. Zibe, he's trying to help, but Chessie's already dead. They get GPK, but now with the blast that's coming out onto Zibe, Arteezy could chase down the Magnus. A double kill for Arteezy. EG just continue to win these fights, and that's 3 times now back-to-back where Chessie's game, it's just getting hit so hard each and every time. This quap just gets destroyed by EG's onslaught.
Oh, for sure. You need to have a snowball advantage, and at this point, Chessie is just straight up middling in his performance. You're going to die to the storm. If you get netted, you're going to die. You get Wyvern Cursed, you're going to die. And then there's always crit you got to worry about as well. So it's such a hard game for Chessie to play. He can't start fights. He's got to kind of just wait on the side and hope his supports can initiate. But then there's just not enough damage to threaten anyone enough to where he could actually be able to finish a kill. Arteezy, hell of a performance. Love the build as well. Skipping the defusal, just going all in for that mass farming. And that's the way to play it. It's about map control, not being able to purge somebody. You're going to kill somebody because of the net, not the diffu.
I mean, we're going to see them come out with a smoke now, 5 men. I mean, they have to do this. They've got to make sure that they make a move with Chessie that just doesn't end up with him blinking into a position that EG can turn a collapse on him. They find a big catch, though. Arteezy separated from the rest of the team. This time they'll do it, 5 men. Sonic Wave out, and Arteezy's gone.
I said all that, and he bought a defusal after the Manta. So, we'll see how that pays off. I think that I would have liked to see him go for this super strong third item timing.
So good though.
Yeah, but
you really skip it.
You could have Butterfly, Scotty, or Heart, and then you'd get Aegis and you just go win the game. There's arguments for both ways, but Arteezy himself had said in the past that he hated having to buy Diffusal Blade.
Oh, fair enough.
And point out as well, Ramses has had some really nice 4-steps so far, and I love the way he's playing. He's got the key items his team needs, notably the Vessel as well, and he's just constantly pushed up in lanes. That makes it so much easier for Fly to make these good smoke moves as his ultimate comes off cooldown, because there's always going to be this Venomance providing information and vision enemy side of the map.
Yeah, and he's been getting away with it as well. He's only dying the 3 times so far. When you're going for this sort of play style, 3 deaths at 21 minutes, you're very happy with that.
Radiant's mid
level-wise, though. 5 men. Oh, man.
Crit. Just gonna look for the jump in onto Zibe. Tossing him just over to the creeps. Ramses a little off the mark there with Gale. He's gonna turn over towards Pi instead, though. Pi taken down very easily here by EG. Starting to suffer quite a bit now. Pi's up to nearly onto the double digits of deaths. 2, 9, and 7. Yeah, classic Pylai die. No, this is sort of his style. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. This is the Pylai die we know and love.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Doesn't matter who his captain is, whether it's Eternal Envy, Misery, Puppy, Pylai die. It's going to play like Pylai die.
He still hears the voices of them. It's commanding, and there's mid lane. GPK is going to look to zip in, silent stop, screw across Zibe, trying to look for Arteezy. The RP does get the 2 of them, but the cold embrace response from Fly puts the whole play to an end. Zibe trying to run, but he's surrounded by the Arteezy illusions as EG again just kill off all of the 3 big ones here. Zibe trying to run, Fly will find him. One more hit'll do it. Maybe not, actually. He's living. The burn's back up, though. As there we have it, Arteezy, he'll say that was my kill. takes that one for the team. That's the 3 cores of 5 men going down there back to back.
You can see the trouble when there's no get out of jail free card. EG always have this Wyvern ulti as a rebuttal to the RP. So even though Zibe has a great initiate, it doesn't matter.
It's so off. It's almost an impossible Magnus game to be anything other than the Empower mech machine.
Yes.
RPs, there's so many ways to counter it. There's a million different ways that EG can get on top of you. And there's so many different ways they can just put a stop to the RP play. We're seeing the curses, the embraces. I mean, even if it's needed, it hasn't been yet because the song as well. There's a lot of ways that EG can just mess with Zibe's plays.
It's just so tough because, your catch is really your supports. But because there's a Force Staff on the Veno and you're playing against a Storm and a Wyvern, how do you find Wyvern as Clock Earth Spirit? Even if you do, he can just get forced off. And as soon as you change the terrain a little bit, all of a sudden 5 men are forced to walk through a ward wall in order to actually contribute to a team fight. Quap can't go in first, especially in a game like this with no method of cleansing off the Orchid, and TB is just not really strong enough either. He wants to just be right-clicking to deal mass damage, not poking. And you got Aegis now on the Storm with that Yules. He can cleanse off the Orchid if necessary.
No,
going in.
Oh no, not again. Another death here for Pi. It's down bottom. Chessie, Misery. They've got to keep themselves a little hidden. Crit on the hunt, just staying in the trees. Chessie knowing that his life will be on the line if he does show in that lane. He won't do so, keeps himself hidden. EG just starting to take good control of both halves of the map now. Wards are down, sentries out, but you see sort of like the 5 sentries, 2 wards, 2 observers on 5 men's half of the map. Very hard for themselves to regain any sort of map control here as EG is just pushing in.
This is where the game gets so tough because you've got 2 saves effectively as well. 3 if you count the Aegis on Storm. But as long as the Naga and the Wyvern are not caught in the same RP, they're always going to be able to use that buddy system, get each other out of trouble.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, for 5 men, I think what you're looking towards is just trying to hope that Ace can get the items to do something magnificent on the high ground defense. This Terrorblade's got to do something spectacular for the other course for Chessie and Zibe. It's just very hard to get the job done against EG's lineup. Zibe caught out here by the toss back. Will let the skewer away, but the Yules cancelled the skewer. Just by time for other TPs to come in. Zibe pops the Greaves. He'll be saved. Won't lose the Magnus this time round. Just tanking up with that Greaves pop to survive the attempt here from EG. EG already ready to go back in. Now look over towards Chessie here for a second time. The Orchid upon him. Is it enough? It is. GPK's able to burst him down. Turns over towards Zibe. GPK's played so aggressive. The curse from Fly is going to catch the 3 of them. Pylite die, falling to his own teammates. GPK's just back across over towards Misery. He's low on mana. Crit as well. Crit with the control, keeping Zibe close enough to this Storm as GPK is going to start bottling. He's looking over towards Ace. Ace starting to tick down low. Ace does have a Sunder available. GPK finds Zibe in the trees. Zibe is going to live a little longer with that Greaves. Once more, still alive. Gets an RP off in time. Just locked. The Ramsey's down under the tower. Will be able to kill off the Veno. There's a buyback from Misery, but GPK's mana's back up as he's in with the second life. Goes over towards Ace. Zips in onto the Terrorblade. Ace is dead. Misery also going to die here for a second time this fight, as they just could not fight into this Aegis already. The struggles just fighting into EG alone. GPK's going to go for the TP out. Chessie's got nothing to put a stop to it, so we'll also be able to save his life on the retreat. And EG now stepping up to a 12k lead, 34-13 at just 26 minutes.
This group is looking real scary. If this is the EG that's shown up to play thus far.
Oh, not again.
Oh, yeah, yes, again.
Again.
Oh, no.
Oh, he might live this time. Just kidding. I don't think anyone believed me when I said that. Someone did.
Oh, Pylai die. When memes become reality. And yeah, EG, they just played a clean game thus far. Even though it's only a 12k gold lead, 35-13 is almost an understatement. They've been in total control. Every move that has occurred in this game was on EG's terms. And now with the heart on our tour, I just don't see how you break back into this as 5 men. Your only hope is to do what Chessie's doing up top, just cut waves, try and survive. But ultimately, the attrition gameplay behind this Ramsey's Veno and the Arteezy Naga is going to continue to succeed. I don't even need the Aegis, just chill on the high ground.
No, it's been an incredibly solid game plan from EG. I mean, it felt like that one maybe bit of a window that 5man would have had to do something would have been around that Chessie Orchid timing, but as you said, the way that GPK was able to beat that with his build up in terms of the Orchid rush, and then the fact that EG were able to shut down Chessie 3 times in a row, he's just not been able to have an impact as a quap. Mid lane, Misery found once more, EG just roaming the map. Anybody that dares step out on 5 men within reach of this lineup will fall.
And it's time to start the slow siege. Essence Ring passed on to Ramses, now with the Lotus, just going for the full support item build. It's what you like to see. I love how Ramses has adjusted to this offlane role. One of the more selfish carry players that we've seen in the game. Proponent of that no boots Midas lifestealer for a while, but as a support player, or rather a 3, completely selfless, just trying to set up his squad for success. This looks like a free Rax.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
It doesn't look like there's going to be any sign of 5 men responding to this. They've still got the tier 2s up on the side lane, so they can afford to let this one go without the worry of any further damage being done to their base. So the time being used by 5 men to just try and continue to find farm on their cores on these side lanes. The tier 1 down bottom at least nearly getting pushed out, but as it were, actually just low enough for GPK to take even that away from them.
Visibility.
Already at the soul, but he's got a bloodstone in. He'll make it by 30 almost. That's pretty impressive. Consider he's also up against one of the harder lane counters in that quap. You don't mind this at all if you're an EG supporter wondering whether GPK is the real deal. So far, so good.
Yeah.
And Chessie has the BKB up, sure, but 3-6-3, that's just not a game-winning score for Queen of Pain.
No, very, very hard, as we say, to come back from this sort of position. As Parla die, I mean, somewhere, he's always dying and does again.
Finds new and creative ways to die at that. Oh, was he by the tier 3?
I think he was in his fountain. The game just killed him off. There was like no one's going to notice. Another death to the scoreboard. Oh, it's getting rougher and rougher here for 5 men. And we'll try and hold on, as we say. There is the Terror Blade. Maybe some sort of overextension. GPK zipping in with all his mana, suddenly getting caught in the claws of Ace as he pops the meta. Could allow for a turnaround. But it's very slim.
Leaped the score on the screen. You don't see that every day. 13-37. That is very rare. Very rare indeed.
That is a rare meme.
Yeah.
Not one of the common ones.
3-2-2 has become much more common.
We get that all the time.
Indeed.
And the other one that comes up a lot. This one. Something new here, provided to us by EG, of course, with the team of 5 men playing parts of that score.
Glad to be a part of something when this is all said and done. Chessie just gets netted, forced to BKB.
And it's easy with this heart, not caring at all about any harassment that comes in. GPK is going to step over towards Zibe, drags him back. BKB out from Zibe.
The rest of the team's not even here. They're just BKB like, guys, can you help? Somebody. There's 3, both supports are still in the mid lane. Misery TP's home for now.
And Misery's back. Just Pi and Ace, they need to make their way over there. I'm going to lose the second set of Rex if they don't do something soon.
The pincer.
They're going to try and come in from the backside here. See what they can do. They get on top of Fly. Can they actually kill this Wyvern before he does anything though? Fly is able to call and embrace, and suddenly Ace can't go for him. Ace turns over towards Ramsey. Skew it forward.
Oh, what a song!
Arteezy putting the whole attempt to a stop.
Fly's getting ready.
Yeah, they've already lost 2 of their members. Curse out onto Ace, will control him, tossing him back into the curse range. GPK zips across, Zibe will pop the RP, but the damage has already been done. 3 dead on 5 men, Ace will fall. They haven't got any buybacks, that's enough for them right now, as 5 men will tap out. EG to take this game 1, and they look pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
This was a bit of a showstopper here from EG. They certainly